Nicole Scott here from Mobile Geeks, and here I'm going to take the Honor 8 out of the box. So Honor is a affiliate or sub-brand of Huawei, and if you're familiar with Huawei devices, which I absolutely love, you'll recognize this as a Huawei P9, except for it's made of glass. And the biggest difference is honestly that this is $400, so it's a massive price difference for a very mirrored phone. They told us in the press conference that it probably had like 15 layers of glass and some of them were color filters. It's a very shiny phone, but we're just gonna leave that right over here while we keep on with this unboxing. All right, so here we got a SIM popper and a warranty card. Okay, here we have a PSU, that's fast charge, as well as a USB Type-C cable. Alright, so taking a look at the Honor 8, it is a glassy P9, same 5.2 inch display. Let's turn this on. It's got a Kirin 950 under the hood, along with 4 gigabytes of RAM. The only difference between the 32 and the 64 gigabyte version is that the 32 gigabyte version is $400 and the 64 is only $449. So that's actually very reasonable for a smartphone with a very similar specification to the Samsung Galaxy S7. The Kirin 950 is a great, very fast processor. So if we just take a walk around the system while this is booting up, here we can put in our SIM card as well as micro SD card. Around the bottom we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C that's capable of quick charge, single firing speaker. Over here we've got a power button and a volume rocker. And on the top, only a microphone and a sensor up there. Now on the back, you can see that we have the same dual camera setup as the P9. We have a 12 megapixel monochrome lens that only takes black and white photos, but lets in a lot of light and there's a lot of great depth of field. And then we have a 12 megapixel regular camera. We've got a OIS laser autofocus as well as a two-tone flash. This fingerprint sensor is actually way more than just a fingerprint sensor. You can actually set it up as a quick launch button. Alright, so let's take a look at the UI itself now that we have it booted up. There is no app drawer, the performance is great. Very nice notification bar. You can edit the settings very easily. One of the things that I do like about this phone, you pull down from anywhere and you can search the phone, right? So you can actually just search for apps natively. Companies like Oppo don't have an app drawer and then they force you to actually search using Google, right? Which works in this case, but then sometimes it'll try to pull up everything to do with online search, and so it actually is very, very slow using Google rather than just pulling down and natively using this search. So this is one of my favorite features of a phone that doesn't have an app drawer. So let's head into settings just to check a few things out. Now, one of the new things that came with this device is the fact that we could use Smart Assistants. We can use this key in the back, this fingerprint sensor back here. We can actually use that as a smart key. So let's head here. So a press, we can have a voice recording, flashlight, screenshot, double press, or we can have it like open an app. So any app that you want. Say you want it to go straight to Lyft or Shazam or YouTube or any kind of music player, so you can decide that a double press and a press and hold can actually do different types of things. So this can be 3 different functions in the fingerprint sensor alone. I really do like that quite a bit. Now, these are things that come with a lot of devices. Huawei's really good about packing features in. So flip to mute, pick it up, reduces the ring volume, raise to ear, actually like answers the phone. All right, so let's take a look at the camera. I got a couple of things here that I think should show you what kind of camera quality we're looking at. But first, let's just take a quick look at the settings, because honestly, I expected there to be a monochrome mode because we have the secondary monochrome camera, but it looks like they've foregone a dedicated mode. If you want to get monochrome, you have to head here into the filters, and then you can select, like this already comes with Huawei devices, but you can select mono. It'll be interesting to see if this actually just uses the mono lens or kind of what's going on with it. But for the secondary camera, where it gets interesting to me, actually let's put this back into original, is that they're not really using or touting the secondary camera as a monochrome. It is more for depth of field. So you can have the two devices or the two objects kind of near or far. These are all a little bit close to do this. But let's give it a whirl. So now because we've shot this in aperture mode, we can actually touch to refocus it. So you can see that we can put this more into focus. So this is very classic of, say, the Mate 8, or the Mate 8 with its dual camera. So you can also select a filter for wide aperture effects. So you can see that we've got very different things going on here. Right, and then everything else kind of blurs out. So this seems to be the primary reason why they've added the second camera onto the Honor 8, because on the P9 it's very much focused as a monochrome camera and not so much as a depth of field, and creating these, like, this very beautiful, right? You can, I think this is actually going to be quite fun to play around with these. All right, so maybe let's just go focus in on that. There. And maybe let's add another little filter. It's very interesting. But the camera in general, let's just take a couple of shots here. Let's get this hair nice and close. Let's take a look at that. It's going to be very interesting to put this up directly against the P9, just because this is significantly cheaper with a very similar camera setup. But just in these couple of photos, I think that we have on our hands here a very nice looking camera. The P9 camera is definitely one of my favorites on the market, and if Honor is offering something even close to being similar right now for $400, this is going to be something that's going to be very interesting in the US. One of the other interesting things that I really want to point out about this is that originally I thought this was going to be a massive fingerprint magnet, but I mean, it catches the light in the same way as the S7, kind of that like beautiful layered mode. Oof. I mean, this is a really gorgeous handset for $400. It's actually shocking that it's coming in at this price point for something that's pretty. Now, I've been manhandling this the entire video and have not cleaned it once. The fact that there's no really visible fingerprints other than something lightly going on around the fingerprint sensor there is actually really, really, really impressive. So this has just been a quick unboxing, a really good first impressions, something that I'm actually a P9 user, so I'm going to be doing a comparison directly with the P9. I may want to spend a little more time with this before I actually put that video out, because to be honest with you, I really kind of want to get into what you really get for $400 versus $700. Right, so if this is $300 less, what are you really losing out on? Because right now, it's definitely not designed. The camera seems quite solid. The processor difference isn't going to make that much of a difference in terms of real-world performance. So, and if just like, look at this light catching, so much more pretty than just a metal back. Anyways, Nicole Scott here for Mobile Geeks, taking a quick look and an unboxing with the Honor 8. If you would like to know anything specific about this handset, please let me know and I will put it into the review. Nicole Scott here for Mobile Geeks.